Hey guys, it's David
and Boki
from Gigi's Fabric Shop, home of Juki and Junkies. And today we're going to be clearing up what TL is right for you. We know we've kind of released some comparisons and there's tons of videos out there on the differences between these machines, but now we're going to really tell you what is right for you and kind of break it down in a podcast format so you can kind of just let this video play in the background and listen, and you can kind of decide on which model is going to be the right fit for you.
So there's going to be a lot of factors that you want to consider when deciding which TL is best for you. Like David mentioned, definitely watch that comparison video because that'll go over your visual differences, accessory differences, just to really know down to like the bare bones what's the differences. But we got to take that information and digest it into what's better for you. So we came up with a little list of some factors you should consider. The first one being, what are you sewing and what do you want to sew on this machine? That got to start there first.
The second most important is budget. Everybody's got a budget, and we want to know which one would be really fitting for you according to your budget, because we don't want to stretch our budget to the point where it's not needed.
Yeah.
And we also want to make sure that you understand what's necessary in your budget for purchasing.
And that ties in perfectly with the last bullet point that I mentioned was, are those upgrades worth it to you? Is the convenience factor in that TL model convenient to you? Are you actually going to use them?
Is it worth saving up for another month? Is
Exactly.
it worth saving up for another 6 months or a year? Or would you be fine with just the lower end model?
Sure, exactly.
So we want to break this down so everybody has a great understanding of what TL is going to be perfect for them. The first thing we want to talk about is there's 3 models, right? And you've probably already watched the comparison video, and if you haven't, we've already said you should. There's the TL2000, 2010, and the TL18.
Yep.
Those are the 3 core models.
Yep.
There's other models like the TL15, the 2020 Platinum Edition that has popped up in the past, and there's actually the TL15 is still available right now. And those are kind of just like special editions, and essentially what they are is the 2010 sewing machine, the Juki TL 2010, but just with extra accessories and a little bit more price.
Yeah.
So for instance, the TL15 is the 2010 identical clone. Only difference is the sticker's different, and it comes with 3 more accessories.
Yeah.
The 2020 Platinum Edition was like 3 or 4 more accessories, and it was a platinum color.
Yeah, it was super unique.
It was really
limited
great.
edition.
Yeah.
So.
And we kick ourselves all the time for not
It's
keeping
so sad.
one.
We're like,
because
they're gorgeous. We love when David gets one in for service because we'll be like, wow.
I want to buy it off the customer.
I know.
They are really pretty.
So yeah, it's all about that. It's all about, deciding if those things are convenient to you. So we want to start off talking about some things that you should know as far as these models go. They're all very similar, so keeping in mind what is exactly the same between these machines.
One other thing we wanted to cover is that every single TL has the same motor in it and same power in it, or same capability as far as what it can sew through as limitations and the thicknesses, pretty much.
Yeah.
So the TL2000 and the TL18, even though they're 2 different price points, completely different, the TL2000 can still sew what the TL18 can do. It's just the TL18 is going to be able to do that with a little bit more ease and more comfort because of all the extra features it has.
Exactly.
So that's important to note. Just because you get the TL2000, not the TL18, doesn't mean you're going to be extremely limited on what you can sew.
Right, yeah. The spectrum of what you can do on these machines is the same. The silk, lace, organza, all the way up to the cotton, canvas, denim, faux leather, and things like that will be the same. That versatility is available on all the models, but it's like David said, how easy is it going to be for you? Is this going to be better? Are you going to spend all that money anyways to buy the accessories? So yeah, I think we should start off with the first one, the what are you sewing and what do you want to sew? So it really comes down to, hey David, I'm doing bags right now. I only do it sometimes, but I think I want to level it up. My machine right now can't handle it. What do I do? Right? So you got to put yourself in the scenario. Call us up, tell us, hey, I'm sewing this, but I also want to do this. Those factors come into play, and I have some scenarios that will probably play out later too, but it's about what you want to do and leave yourself a little bit of room to grow. Always leave the room to do bigger and better things.
Exactly, because you don't want to buy the machine and then go, wow,
I regret that.
I kind of wish I didn't get this one because I'm already kind of wishing I had that feature.
Exactly.
So it's important to kind of understand what you're sewing so we can make sure that you get the features that are going to be the most comforting for that application on the machine.
Yeah, and that ties in with budget. So budget is going to be what you're comfortable with spending, and that's normal, right? We all have a budget somewhere we've been saving for it. Let's face it, sewing machines are an investment, so making sure that you're respectively staying within your budget, but you also have to make sure that it's going to actually fulfill those needs. So like David was saying, maybe it's better to save up for an extra month, you know, to do the bigger, better machine. Because let's say you wanted the 2010, right? I want the 2010. I really like that machine. And then we tell you, oh, the TL15 comes with all these accessories. Like if you were planning on buying those anyways,
then it's worth it.
Then it's worth doing it. So just things like that to keep in mind. The accessories and the features, that ties into the third category, was, are those things worth it to you?
And if we're going, we should probably go touch back on the application of what we're sewing, because we want to make sure that we're breaking down the machines and which one will fit that application the best. The TL2000 is pretty much the base model, right? We don't have the speed control, we don't have that micro lifter, and the physical differences are the things that we really should be focusing on more than just the accessories. The accessories are definitely a bonus, especially when there's a price difference. But the speed control, is the speed control necessary for the application that you're sewing? So if you're doing bag making, quilting, do you think that it's essential or important to have the speed control dial on your machine? Yes or no? Is it important? We think so. I think it's pretty important to have that.
I agree.
Because how often do you accidentally slip up on your pedal and boom, you're going 1,500 stitches per minute in a second.
Like, even for the person who's free motion quilting, it's going to be really hard to make sure that you're pressing the perfect amount of pressure the whole time.
And Gigi actually has a video on using that speed control, setting your cap speed at a certain speed. That way you can kind of use it as a
stitch regulator.
Stitch regulator.
So you're regulating yourself a little bit better. It's going to be really hard on the 2000.
Exactly.
That,
so the speed control is the biggest jump from the TL2000 to the 2010. You'll see that in the comparison video. And so we always typically, when people are looking for a TL, as long as their budget allows the 2010, we always kind of start with the 2010 just because of that speed control feature. Of course, there's some other physical differences. Watch that comparison video to go over that more in depth. But that's the major thing that you're not going to be able to change in the future.
That's the biggest thing. Then that's a great point, because I always tell customers, like, don't let the accessories be your deciding factor with which machine you want. Think about what the machine can, other features that it has that would be helpful, because you can't buy that. You can't buy speed control, right? But you can buy the walking foot guide and whatever else.
Exactly. So then the TL18 would be the next jump from the 2010, which has that micro lifter. So for the person that's doing the free motion quilting and bag making.
Absolutely. That's exactly what I had in my notes.
Do you have to have it for that? Can you do it with the TL2000 or the 2010? Yes.
Yeah, totally can. And we see it all the time. I mean, in the group, in the Juki Junkies Facebook group, you see it all the time. People making amazing bags and amazing quilts with it. But is it going to be a little easier on the 18? Absolutely.
Because you have the micro lifter.
You have the micro lifter. I was telling David, I use the micro lifter all the time. I don't know how I would function without it.
And if you don't know what the micro lifter is, because I'm assuming if you're watching this video, you probably don't know everything still. The micro lifter pretty much allows you to put your presser foot pressure at a negative presser foot pressure. So instead of increasing it and pushing down, which you want to increase on the lighter fabrics and decrease on the thicker fabrics, the micro lifter is going to allow you to have a negative presser foot pressure, pretty much lifting up that foot pedal a micro amount, but it gives you the ease of gliding over those thicker materials. So if you don't have that, you can use your knee lifter to kind of feather and make sure that it comes up, but it's very hard to get that perfectly dialed in when you're sewing something thick.
Like consistently.
Exactly. You might lift it up too much and then you're sewing in the same spot, or you might lift it up not enough and then you're still sewing in the same spot.
Exactly.
So the micro lifter allows you to have a little bit more ease when sewing over those thicker materials. And that's something that's not changeable from the 2010 to the TL18.
You can't buy it, right? You can buy all those other accessories that the TL18 comes with, but is it crucial to you to have that? Another silly thing is the light. I mean, the light can turn off on the TL18. We've had some customers where the light bothers them, or, you know, they wish they could just turn it off because they have better lighting at home.
You can turn it off.
You can turn it off on the TL18. You can't do that on the other models.
You can. You just need some duct tape.
Yeah, you need some duct tape. Makeshift.
So those are I think that we went over the first topic really thoroughly.
Yeah.
We know what the differences are and what you should really consider if it's important to you, those differences. And then the next thing, I think we touched on budget a little bit, but now it's time to apply the budget to that.
For sure.
And we're not going to go over the prices too much on here because prices are subject to change over time. So if we publish this video and then 4 years from now the prices decrease or increase, it's going to be inaccurate information.
Exactly.
But pretty much we're going to say the TL2000 is the lowest price. We'll put links to all these machines in the description so you can check the pricing out there, current pricing. 2010's middle, TL18's upper, and we've gone over the differences and which is more important for your application.
Yeah, and I have some great
So-
examples we can go over at the end of this video. We can like kind of role play situations like, hey, I'm doing this, what do you recommend? Hey, I'm doing this, what do you recommend? So I think we'll save that for the end too. But yeah, so like David said, we have the 2000 at the bottom being the most affordable model. Then we jump up to the 2010. Remember the TL15 and those unique models that pop up every so often. In this pyramid, it would go 2000, 2010, TL15. And then the TL18 being the top Mac Daddy in this category.
That's the current.
Yeah, the current one that we have now.
Machine
But like, if you think about
lineup.
those core machines, just remember, look for those features so you understand, you know, if it doesn't have a micro lifter, okay, it's probably going to be like a 2010. Does it have a speed control? Okay, it's like a 2010.
Yeah.
You know?
Does it have? If it doesn't have a micro lifter and it has a speed control, it's a 2010.
Exactly.
If it's those
Copy
special
paste.
edition models.
Right.
One thing I want to touch on is when you're looking at, because budget's important, right? When you're
Huge.
looking at the budget and you're looking at the pricing on our website, there's something called MSRP pricing. Those machines don't fluctuate on pricing. The TL2000 is the only one that doesn't have an MSRP pricing, I think, or MAP pricing,
Yeah,
whatever
MAP
it is.
pricing, yeah.
So that machine, the TL2000, can be priced anything, anywhere online, and you'll see it at different prices. Just keep in mind, I would also recommend watching what dealer to purchase from.
That's a really good one too.
It's important when you're purchasing a machine, especially a mechanical machine or any machine really, that you're purchasing it from somebody that's willing to support you throughout your ownership of
Exactly.
that machine. Because like a car, machines, there's a lot of moving components.
Right.
And you don't want to buy it from somebody that's not going to support you along your journey of the ownership. So definitely watch that podcast. It was actually me and my mom where we talk about how to find the right dealer to purchase from, whether it's a local dealer or an online dealer. Of course, we are an online Juki dealer,
Yep.
as you may know, JukiJunkies.com, family-owned business, and we have pretty much all Juki parts and accessories and machines.
Yeah,
So,
and we really know what we're talking about. So if you guys buy the machine from us, it's nice to know you can call us up, and usually David answers the phone or I answer the phone, and you can
Yes.
talk right to us. We
and
don't
if you
have-
didn't know, we test the machines.
Yes, that's a huge one. That's like ding, 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 ring the bell. Like
Yeah.
we test the TLs before they go to you to make you guys have an easier experience. Like as soon as you open it out of the box, like
And we can
stress-free.
make sure there's no little imperfections on
Right.
that machine from the
Like
factory.
any
The
paint.
paint looks perfect.
Yeah, we check all that stuff.
Yeah, we make sure it's
So-
well polished before our customers get to open
Yeah.
the box, because we don't want you to open it up and be like, oh my gosh, there's a paint chip from shipping. Nope, not
And we
with
leave
us.
the machine threaded too. That's like another great thing.
Yeah.
So like sometimes when you buy sergers, they're threaded when you open the box. We'll leave the TL threaded for you so then you have something to go off of, a reference.
And one thing is the 2010s, the TL18s, anything above a 2010 comes tested from us. The
Yes.
TL2000s, like we mentioned before, since it doesn't have that MAP pricing, the margins on that machine are so tight we're having to compete with competitors that are willing to sell it for pretty much nothing.
Unfortunately.
So we actually have a drop down now where you can
Yes.
pay, what, $10, $15 extra to have
and we'll
it
test
tested.
it for you.
So
And that'll come with a spool of Glide, which is our beloved Glide 40 thread that we love so much. So it'll come with a spool of Glide, threaded, inspected. You can read those details on the website of exactly what we do to it, but I would definitely say the $15 is well worth it.
oh yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
One other thing before we move on to the next topic is the pricing of these machines. What I always like to urge anybody that's looking to buy this machine, if you're on a really tight budget, we do offer the financing options with 0%, so it's same as cash pretty much. You can buy this machine and pay for it monthly and not have to worry about coming up with all the money at once, so that's a great option.
That's a great option.
The other option would be pick out all the accessories, pick everything out, but also call us on the phone and just explain to us where you're at as far as budget and
Totally.
stuff. And we love working with our customers.
We'll always figure out something for you to make it work. Because
Yeah.
if we really think that you need a certain machine, we're going to try to help you get there. And if you've ever talked to us, you know that we're not here to urge the most expensive machine on you. We're here to make you happy. So like David said, give us a call. We'll make it work for you and get you what you need right now. And we'll tell you, like, maybe you don't need that right now. Save that money, put it towards something else. So
We have the best interest for our customers because when
100%.
you're happy, we're
We're
happy.
happy.
We don't get phone calls saying this
Yes.
machine's too much for me. This machine doesn't do
yeah,
this.
I want to return it. It's
Yeah.
too much. Like that just doesn't happen.
We don't want
so, yeah, we don't want that.
We don't want returns, so
Yeah.
that's why we really want to make sure you're getting the right machine before
You're happy.
you
Before
buy
and
it.
after.
Exactly.
Yeah, so the last one is going to be, I think we covered everything on budget. The last thing we want to talk about, are those upgrades worth it to you? So watch that comparison video, go to our website, print out the comparison chart so you have all the details and decide for yourself, is it worth it to me to upgrade to the TL15 right now and get those extra accessories? Am I going to use them? Is it worth it to me to have the speed control? Am I really going to be able to
Benefit.
press my foot down the whole time and make sure I'm sewing at the right speed the whole time? You know, you have to sit and evaluate it for yourself, because budget is very important, but also like your sanity and how happy you are sewing it is also very important.
Yeah. It's sometimes worth waiting a few more months to get exactly what you want.
Yeah.
Because you never want to buy something and go,
I regret it.
man, I wish I had.
And I've had it happen. I've had people go, I really wish I would have bought the TL18.
Yeah, I want that micro lifter now.
I want the micro lifter.
But oftentimes people will buy the 2010 if they're on, you know, they're wanting to save a few $100.
Right.
And then they end up coming back and I want the TL18, and oftentimes they'll literally buy
bought
the
two
TL18
machines.
and
Yeah.
they keep two. Like I've had that happen multiple times.
I've even thought of that because I love my TL18 so much. Like if anything were ever to happen to it, I would buy it again and again. And I totally see the need for wanting two machines.
Yeah.
But yeah, it happens. So don't let that be you. Don't have that buyer's like regret, you know, a month into the machine being like, wow, I really wish I would have got the TL18. Really think about it. And if you need a second opinion, call us and we'll be like, I don't think you really need that. Or yeah, you would benefit. So
exactly. So one other thing, was there anything else we need to go over? I feel like we're missing something. So if we're missing something, let's just brainstorm.
Well,
and
yeah,
see if
let's
we're missing
think.
something. Let's see.
I think we covered all the upgrades, budget, all the things that are the same. The machines also at the same. The motors are the same. Convenience.
Yeah, I think we did pretty good.
We did.
You guys tell us.
Comparison. Why you should buy from us. Who to
Go
buy
in the
from.
comments below and drop questions if you have any.
Yeah. Do you want to role play some situations of if I'm making this, which machine would you recommend?
Sure. Let's try to do that.
All right, perfect. So, David, I'm going to quiz you.
Okay.
I'm the customer. I'm calling you and I say, hey, I currently am a quilter. And that's all I really do. But I've been seeing everybody make bags lately. And I really want to get into it. Budget's not really a problem for me. But I don't know. What do you recommend?
Well, since you said budget's not a problem, I would recommend the TL18 because it does have that micro lifter. You're not going to have to go back or get a 2010 and then want a micro lifter later on.
Yep.
So I would definitely recommend the micro lifter.
That's what I wrote.
Not an issue with you. And, you know, that's the top of the line TL. There's obviously other options out there. You don't have to buy a TL, but if that's really where your mind's at, you're doing bag making, you're not getting into real leather too much quite yet. You're kind of just touching the bag making, canvas, denim, some pliable faux leathers, things like that. TL18 would be a great option.
Even for upholstery too. That was like another thing I wrote.
Upholstery.
Denim, upholstery, curtains. We have some people that's like a whole market, curtains and stuff. So if you're that person, definitely go more towards the 18. But like if you were somebody who maybe only never did bags before, you're mostly a hobby sewer, you just want a straight stitch machine because you want it to be straight to the point.
You probably don't need that.
The 2010 is going to be just enough, right? And if you're on a tighter budget, the 2010 or the TL15 is going to be perfect for you.
I have another one.
Let's hear it.
Okay. I'm the customer calling in. Boom. Calling. Hey, I've seen a lot of information on these TLs. You know, I'm on a pretty tight budget, and I don't think I really need a micro lifter. I'm not really doing bags. I'm not doing thick stuff. But I do like free motion quilting a lot. But like I said, my budget's really tight. I really shouldn't be buying a machine. What would you recommend? I know there's the TL 2000, 2010. Is it really worth the difference for me?
So between the 2010 and the 2000?
Yes, because I know I don't want the TL 18. I don't need the micro lifter.
Okay. I would definitely recommend the 2010 because when you're free motion quilting, if you're not going to be purchasing any sort of stitch regulator, right? Starting out and learning, you want to make sure your speed is set at like a max of like 30% or 40%, whatever you're comfortable with, and that's going to be really hard without a speed control.
Perfect. I'm buying it. Next one. Okay. I want a TL because I've heard that they're very reliable. Yes. They're pretty much, they are semi-industrial. They have a lot of metal components. And I just kind of need another machine in my house. You know, I'm not a big sewer. I use it once every couple months maybe to fix some jeans on my husband's pants. Don't really sew that much. Don't really want to spend that much. But I just need something that I can throw in the closet and have around for 20 more years that can sew my stuff. So what machine would you recommend?
You'll probably be good with the TL 2000, or if you are appealed to the extra accessories, the 2010 will be good too.
Perfect.
So it just depends where she's at on that budget.
There you go.
So
now we have all the information I think we need on the TLs.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything else, but if there is, we'll throw it in here.
Yeah.
Like we've already said, comment, like, and subscribe. We post every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we're going to start doing a lot more YouTube videos here soon, so make sure you hit that subscribe button.
Don't miss
and
out.
also, subscribe to Junkies, because that is going to be more of like
There's an Easter
embroidery
egg in
stuff.
this video.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot more embroidery stuff going up on that channel here soon, and Juki doesn't have too much embroidery, but they do have an amazing embroidery machine.
Which,
Didn't
there's a
already know.
video on this too.
Yeah.
Our deep dive. We'll link that.
Deep dive on this?
Yeah, with Tim.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good video to watch.
Yeah.
But we're going to do more videos on this too. So
Yeah.
lots of cool stuff coming to Juki and Janome Junkies. So make sure you hit the subscribe button on both of those channels, and we'll see you next Sunday. Bye.
Bye.